Hi, I'm Jason Gorb for ThatShelf.com, and we're here to look at the Stop Making Sense 4K limited edition box set from A24.
Shelf.
So, physical media fans, for Talking Heads fans, for everybody who's a fan of this remarkable live recording, this is the Stop Making Sense box set. It's a very interesting sort of construction here. It is limited edition. I paid an ungodly amount of money. I got it actually from the Vinegar Syndrome folks here in Toronto that actually brought it in. So shout out to them. God bless those that are actually keeping the retail of physical media alive. You can see the actual layout of the box that we're about to open up and go through all the stuff, but it has the Pablo Ferrer sort of text, the hand-drawn text that film nerds obviously know from the likes of Dr. Strangelove, and obviously Jonathan Demme incorporated the same kind of handwriting font, or at least typeface, for this remarkable live record. We've talked about it on this channel a bunch before. We highlighted the fact that there was what was then a limited edition version of the soundtrack that included and incorporated some of the tracks that had actually been deleted from the original vinyl release. That's actually available now in a new pressing. So who knows how long it'll last, but definitely pick that one out. And again, if you are a fan of the film, why not actually have a chance to see it this way? Now, I will never see it again like I did, which is on an IMAX screen with the actual band there. And I've written quite a bunch about that experience. I wrote it for Uncut Magazine and actually talked about it a little bit on this channel. But this is sort of a gentle reminder of what's here, and incorporates some stuff that's on the original Blu-ray and other stuff. I'm probably going to have to hold on the Blu-ray because that's the way it helps. That's the way it happens when you're actually a physical media collector. Welcome to the nonsense. At least we have the opportunity to actually have multiple versions that sort of incorporate those elements that we actually want to keep, those so-called extras or supplemental materials. So let's crack this open. Again, A24 collector's edition. In Canada, the price was not cheap, but again, this should be a sort of, let's call it, definitive version. There's not going to be an 8K version, that's for sure, he said, knowing that he was going to be at some point in time overwritten. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes to home use, 4K is more than enough in terms of resolution, but the big deal obviously is the restoration of the image, and also the use of high dynamic range. The actual bit rate is what's truly impressive, and the fact that you're basically at home getting cinematic level color is a much bigger deal than cinematic level resolution. We've talked about that again on this channel many times before, but for those still wondering why the heck would I do this? Well, first of all, it's shot in 35, so it's going to blow up really beautifully well on a good restoration from this period, but also it's going to look better than a 35 print will, that's for sure. And the fact of the matter is that the colors are being maintained, the original style of grading being carried over for home use, similar to what we actually got the chance to see at the IMAX. So yeah, it's one of these sort of slip boxes, and inside we have this, which has slides on it. It's great. Actual 35mm style slides. A whole nother conversation to have about slide film versus regular film. And we have one disc here, and we have a sort of fake version of the disc here. So inside this open, oh look, it's a bum. Inside here, we have Stop Making Sense, A24, 4K, 40th Anniversary Edition. That's the 4K disc. It's actually interesting because it's kind of translucent. I'm not sure that I've noticed that before, but maybe it's just the way that I'm actually recording this. But that's the Stop Making Sense 4K disc, incorporated in right at the front on this little sort of click thing. And inside here on this book, which is cloth sewn thread, you knew what I meant. We have a foreword by Jerry Harrison, who I had a lovely conversation with when he was here. We have all kinds of great stuff. The stage layout, where the camera positions are, a bunch of images, etc., etc. You can see all these various elements, storyboards, film stills. Really beautiful, beautiful set. Now, so often when you actually get sets like this, it actually includes a Blu-ray as well. And this seems to only be the 4K disc, which includes all the elements just on the one disc. I'm actually okay with that, but it is interesting that usually what they do is they have all the supplements on one disc and then they have the film itself. But yeah, this is our quick look at the Stop Making Sense box set. I look forward to diving into it in detail, seeing whether we have the full credits at the end here. Newspaper reports, all of those elements. Because it doesn't actually have like a little hype sticker or anything that actually says what elements are, it's just a price tag on here. I had to dig it up from the official website. This is the standard HD Blu-ray, ships July 23rd. We've obviously had it a little bit early. 40th anniversary edition of Stop Making Sense, available on Blu-ray or 4K. This is the 4K, featuring newly restored and remixed theatrical cut, a 64-page interior booklet, which we've looked at, with never-before-seen photography, archival production documents, and a foreword by Jerry Harrison, and more. Special features include 2 extended cuts of the film, a brand new Talking Heads extended cut 2023 with previously unseen, newly restored footage from Cities and Big Business, Zimbra. So that's what we saw at the IMAX screening. And the original Jonathan Demme extended cut 1985, which is the Laserdisc transfer. It actually has the 89 Laserdisc transfer. It also includes a 25-minute making of documentary edited by Bill Ross, the fourth of the Ross brothers, which is wild. Jonathan Demme director's commentary recorded in 1999, remixed in 2023, featuring previously unpublished archive audio. I love when they do this. Dig up the old commentaries. There's so little in terms of more modern productions actually use the commentaries. I love when they actually manage to repurpose the stuff, and the fact that they had additional stuff, fantastic. David Byrne rehearsal tape, that's the archival VHS footage. The bonus songs, The Cities and Big Business, Zimbra, that we talked about, but both the 2023 and the 1985 edits, and a 2023 Dolby Atmos and 1984 original stereo mixes. So what is not on here? Well, what was interesting is that this mix, the Atmos mix, which is different than the IMAX mix I saw, is a brand new surround mix. There were 2 5.1 mixes on the original DVD Blu-ray. And those mixes were one Jerry did and one David sort of fought for. One was called, I think, the studio mix, and one was called the theatrical mix, whatever it was. You could, if you ever wanted an example of how little Talking Heads were getting along at the time, they couldn't even agree on what the surround sound mix would look like, so they put both of them on the disc. This is a third mix, which incorporates many of the attributes from both merged into a new surround mix. But for crazy people like me, I'm going to keep the other disc so I can go back and compare and see which one actually sounds the way it is. I'm very excited to actually hear this in Atmos. I haven't had that yet. I had it again in IMAX with its own proprietary form of surround, including ceiling speakers. But nonetheless, the Atmos, the Dolby Atmos, is something that you get at home in object-based audio. So there you go. There's our look at Stop Making Sense, the A24 lovely box set, limited edition, blah, blah, blah. Extremely excited to have this part of my collection, and I hope it'll be part of yours as well if you're a fan. If you have any questions or comments, let us know below. Please subscribe, follow us on social media, go to thatshelf.com, support our writers, and we will see you next video. All the best. Take care.